hopefully you can see that image. Essentially, in 2003, the township contracted with the National Research Center of Boulder, Colorado to conduct a citizen survey. We've been doing it every 3 years since that time. The 2018 survey was sent to 1,600 homes in the township. There was, out of those 1,600 homes, 5% were vacant. We had 345 residents complete the survey. 56 of them did that online, which gave us a response rate of 23%, which is pretty good. Again, the distribution map, I'm not sure how clear you can see that, but it shows those dots are the individual homes that the surveys were sent to throughout the community. So it's a pretty good distribution throughout our township. It wasn't just clustered in one small corner or anything. The citizen survey looks at 8 facets of the community, and then it breaks it down into 3 areas: community characteristics, governance, and participation. If you look at this, there's kind of 3 colors. The darker blue is higher than the national benchmark. The medium blue is similar, and then of course the light blue is lower. And they look at these 8 facets, including safety, mobility, the natural environment, the built environment, economy, recreation and wellness, education and enrichment, and community engagement. Essentially, the 2 areas that were most important to our residents were the safety and economy, which is similar to what occurred in 2015. So we have some consistency between the last survey. What does that all mean? So essentially, the overall quality of life, 36% excellent, 50% good. So we had a good report on our overall quality of life. And also our residents find this as a good place to live. 43% and 47% good to excellent. Overall, we looked at the overall image, our neighborhood, place to raise the children. That actually was higher than the national benchmark. So our residents think this is a great place to have kids. Place to retire and overall appearance. The only one that dropped was our overall image. It dropped from 91% to 80%. Not saying that there's something, a big indicator in that. I just thought that that kind of was the one we should mention. Image is important in a community. We want to be prime. Breaking those down into a little bit of the community characteristics, they break it down into safety. Again, our residents, 92% feel that there's an overall feeling of safety. And these scores essentially are saying they're excellent to good. The built environment, there's some affordable quality housing options. I know that there's some discussion on our action plan this year, so we have some data to kind of look at that. And then one I wanted to bring out, obviously, is in the economy. When you look at our vibrant downtown commercial area, this is one area we did not score well at 28%, and it is lower than the national benchmark. Some more community characteristics. I want to jump down just to our air quality scored well. So for whatever reasons, our residents feel our air quality is better than the national average. I'm not sure we can take credit for that as a township, but that's what our community feels. And then our education enrichment, I think everyone on the board recognizes that our community is very proud of the school systems here, and that's reflected in the citizen survey. The next kind of pillar is governance. That's really how we're providing services to our community. And again, we got some good marks in that, 20% excellent, good, 62%. So, 82% of our residents think we're doing a good job providing services. There were some other ones here, the values of the services for taxes paid, being honest, treating our residents fairly. All of those increased except customer service, but that just dropped 1 percentage point from 83 in 2015. So I think that's pretty good. Culling into some more details on the governance. Again, crime prevention, the police are doing a good job according to our residents. One that we know that's out there, the board, again, is on our action plan, is street repair, another area where we received low marks at 23%. One that received high marks and higher than the national benchmark actually was bus or transit services. So again, not saying we can take all the credit of that, but CATA should be proud of that, and our Ready Ride services, I think, is reflective of that score. The natural environment, again, I think we kind of know this just intrinsically, but our natural areas preservation and open space are important to our residents, and again, it was reflected in our survey results. And it's also higher than the national average in regards to those. Then the third and final pillar was the participation. Essentially, what is your sense of community? And we received some good marks in there too. 94% would recommend that they would live in the township, and 83% said they would remain in the township. One of the areas was code enforcement. I thought we should talk about 64% did not observe a code violation. That may be reflective of some additional hours that we did with our code enforcement official this year, going from part-time to full-time. And it was higher than the national benchmark too. And I thought it was interesting that only 31% work in Meridian Charter Township. So as we, think about our services we provide and when we provide them, we should be reflective of that. And again, similar to that is attended a township-sponsored event, 43%, which is lower than the national benchmark. I just thought that that's something we should be aware of as we plan events and do events. Not only where they're living and spending their time, but maybe there's a reason why they can't attend that event we're holding. Finally, the questions that we asked. These are the questions that we spent several meetings trying to figure out what we wanted to ask our residents. And we finally settled on 3 of them. The first one was, would you support additional millages to fix and maintain our local roads? At the end of the day, 69% were supportive of that, and 31% opposed that. Again, that was asking them specifically if they would support an increase from our current millage of 0.24 mils all the way up to 2 mils, which is kind of the millage rate that we've been talking about to generate the dollars we need to fix and maintain our roads over the next 10 years to a good condition rating. Figure 5, the next one is the land preservation millage. This is the one where we asked the folks, talking about maybe some type of offset to our road millage. So the question was, would you be supportive of allowing the land preservation millage to expire? 75% of our residents oppose that action. So I think that speaks loud and clear where the priorities are in the community in regards to that. They were supportive, however, of renewing the land preservation millage at a lower rate. Our suggestion was 0.1 mils, which would generate about $176,000 to maintain the environmental programs of the property. So. And then a lot of data up here, but again, this was kind of what's the best way for us to provide information to our residents. I just want to show the township website really is the #1 area where our residents get that information, which is similar to what the results were in 2015. Communication Director Guthrie, though, wanted me to point out that the social media has doubled. So her efforts are, you are so welcome. So conclusions, our residents continue to enjoy a high quality of life. The economic health and affordability contribute to quality of life. Our residents are pleased with mobility and transportation services, and the natural environment is appreciated by residents. And that's essentially what we gleaned from the report. However, I think we need to be reflective of our 2019 action plan. And we have 3 goals. One is the conjunction with the Transportation Commission and the Township Board to develop and implement additional funding for our local roads. As you can see, the results of the survey says, yep, something needs to be done with roads. Break ground on redevelopment of downtown Okemos and Hazlet. Again, we received low scores on our vibrant downtown and commercial areas. We need to do something there. And then again, our other goal is talking about our Ready Ride and millage renewal. I just thought it was interesting that we were above the national benchmark for that. So I think that's a good data point for us to consider as we move forward with that too. That's it. Any questions from the board?
Oh, it's excellent. Really enjoyed hearing that. It sounds like we're doing a pretty decent job, although we have some areas to look at. Board members, questions for Derek? Don't all raise your hands. Ms. Jackson.
Yes, Mr. Derek.
Yeah, just
what's your last name?
Perry, sometimes.
Perry. Okay. I was thinking after another conversation, another experience today, of the possibility and maybe the reasonableness of changing our focus from fixing the roads to fixing the streets. to differentiate our efforts from those generalized efforts that the governor is proposing for highways and the like.
That's a good point, yeah.
Just something to think about.
Absolutely, vocabulary is important when it comes to those, yeah.
And two, because with that, we are always focused on not so much walkable street, but complete streets. And the actual streets in the local streets in our communities are what we are focused on moving forward in our goal, and maybe that change in language might be useful to us.
No, point well taken. Again, it's the county road department too, and maybe we need to be thinking of, changing that to streets so people are more reflective of that.
Yes, Mr. Shane?
First of all, question, how did our results, participation compared to last year, or I'm sorry, 3 years ago when we had it done?
Similar participation, yep.
On the summary page, did we write this, or did the National Citizen Survey write this?
The National Citizen Survey, yeah, so the one before this conclusion, right, this is right out of the last page. This is where they pull that, yeah.
'Cause it sounds like something coming out of our 2019 action plan. I mean, it talks about 7 items showed a decrease, those being traffic flow, parking, shopping opportunities, overall quality of business and services, fitness, overall appearance of the image of our township. We're aware of that. This next one where we've improved, I think, is a tribute to the work of this board. It says the highest numbers of improved ratings were concentrated in the facet of community engagement. Among those increased were the facet of public information, welcoming citizen involvement, confidence in township government, acting in the best interest of the Meridian Charter Township, and treating all residents fairly. I think this entire board is committed to that. And we all ran on a platform that said we would do that, and it's good to know that residents are noticing, and some at least have indicated that on the survey results. Not that our work is done, but it shows that what we've been doing is in the right direction.
Anyone else? Comments, questions? Well, thank you very much. I know a lot of
Absolutely.
work went into this, not only by the consultant who actually did it, but in terms of you and the staff putting this together and finding us the right tool, et cetera. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, thank you very much.
Thank you.